In the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna share 10 SAT tips that can potentially boost your SAT score by 200 plus points. We will cover everything from a quick trick to solve quadratic equations to a foolproof method for tackling inference questions in the reading section. By the end of this video, you will have a powerful set of strategies to use in the final hours before your test. For each tip, you're gonna use a learn, apply, and reflect framework. This means I will explain the concept, show you how to use it on a real SAT question, and then discuss why it works. This approach helps you understand and remember these strategies quickly, so you can use them on test day. Now I know you're wondering about the most impactful tip. Well, I'm gonna save that for the end. It's a game changer that could make the difference between a good score and a great score. So make sure you stick around for that. Let's get started with our first tip. Are you ready for our first tip? It's all about quadratic equations. Now I know what you're thinking. Not this again. But here's the thing, mastering these could save you up to 5 minutes on the math section. That's extra time that you can use to double check your answers or tackle tougher questions. Let's start with a game-changing strategy, the discriminant rule. This simple tool can help you analyze quadratic equations in seconds. Here's how it works. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. If it's greater than 0, you've got 2 real solutions. Equal to 0, 1 real solution. Less than 0, no real solutions. Memorizing this table is like having a cheat sheet for the SAT math section. Now let's apply it to a real SAT question. Imagine you're asked to determine how many solutions exist for the equation 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Instead of solving it, you can use the discriminant. A equals to 2, b equals to 5, c equals to minus 3. Plug these into b squared minus 4ac, and you get 5 squared minus 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by minus 3. So you get 49. Since 49 is greater than 0, we know that there are 2 real solutions. Easy, right? But wait, there is more. Let's talk about the sum of solutions shortcut. This nifty trick uses the formula minus b divided by a to find the sum of the roots without solving the entire equation. In our example, that's minus 5 divided by 2. This shortcut is a lifesaver when you're asking about the relationship between roots without needing to find them individually. Here's where it really gets interesting. Understanding the vertex of a parabola can simplify word problems involving quadratic equations. The formula minus b divided by 2a gives you the x-coordinate of the vertex. This is super helpful for finding maximum or minimum values quickly. Now you might be wondering, how does this actually save me time? Well, by using these techniques effectively, you can shave off up to 5 minutes on the math section. This extra 5 minutes you can use to tackle other questions or review your work. But it's not just about saving time. These strategies boost your confidence too. When you see quadratic equation, instead of freezing up, you'll have a toolbox of techniques to tackle it. You will approach these questions with a clear plan, reducing stress and improving your performance. Remember, the key to mastering these questions, the key to mastering these techniques is practice. Try applying them to different types of quadratic equations. You'll start to see patterns and understand when to use each strategy. This deeper understanding will help you adapt to any curveballs the SAT might throw your way. Let's shift gears to the writing section. What if I told you that understanding just one grammar rule could help you ace 25% of the writing section? It's not just about avoiding mistakes, it's about spotting the traps the SAT sets for you. This game-changing rule is all about understanding independent and dependent clauses. You might be thinking, grammar, really? But trust me, this is where the big points are hiding. Independent clauses are complete sentences on their own. while dependent clauses need something else to make sense. Sounds simple, right? But the SAT loves to use this to trip you up. Let's look at a real SAT question. You might see something like this. Although the movie was long, it kept me engaged throughout. The SAT might ask you to identify the independent clause. If you know that although the movie was long is dependent because it starts with although, you'll quickly spot that it kept me engaged throughout is the independent clause. This knowledge helps you eliminate wrong answers fast. But here's where it gets really tricky. The SAT often tests your understanding of how to join these clauses. Remember fanboys? For, and, or, but, or, yeah, so. These are go-to connectors for independent clauses. If you see two independent clauses in an answer choice, they better be joined by a fanboys or a semicolon. Otherwise, it's a no-go. Understanding these concepts can potentially boost your writing score by 50 plus points. Why? Because once you start seeing sentences as combinations of clauses, you will approach questions with a clear strategy. You will know exactly what to look for in correct answers. Remember that the SAT writing section isn't just about knowing grammar rules. It's also about understanding how the test uses those rules to create questions. As one expert puts in, the grammar section in writing a language test is really about learning the rules. As long as you put in the time to learn them, those rules, this section becomes really black and white for what's right and wrong. Now let's turn our attention to the reading section. You might think you're a strong reader, but there is a surprising reason why your comprehension skills might be failing you on the SAT. What everyday habit is sabotaging your score? It's something you do all the time without even realizing it. Relying on your personal experiences to interpret what you read. Here's the thing, the SAT reading section isn't testing your life experiences. It's testing your ability to understand and analyze the information given in the passage. When you start breaking in your own experiences or assumptions, you can actually trip yourself up. Imagine you're reading a passage about coral reefs. The question asks what can be inferred from the author's view on coral reef conservation. Your first instinct might be to think about what you know about environmental protection. But that's a trap. The correct answer must come from the passage itself, not on your own knowledge. How do you fix this? The key is to focus on the evidence in the text. When you see words like infers, suggests, assumes, or implies in a question, it's your clue to look for clues in the passage. Let's practice this strategy. As you read, underline key sentences that seem important. These might be statements or facts or opinions or transitions in the author's argument. Now let's apply this to our coral reef question. Look for sentences that reveal the author's perspective. Maybe you underlined something like, urgent action is needed to preserve these delicate ecosystems. This gives you a clear indication of the author's view without relying on our own opinions. Here's another crucial tip. When you're looking at answer choices, scrutinize every single word. The single word that is too specific or detailed can make an entire answer choice incorrect. Take your time and really think about whether each word is supported by the passage. Let's practice this with our example. One answer choice might say, the author believes coral reef conservation should be the government's top priority. Even if the passage supports conservation, does it specifically say it could be the top priority? If not, the answer is too extreme. Now you might be wondering, how much can this really improve my score? Well, here's the exciting part. By focusing on evidence from the text and carefully analyzing answer choices, you can potentially improve your reading accuracy by up to 30%. That's a significant boost that could translate to a much higher overall score. But it's not just about numbers. This approach will also boost your confidence. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by difficult passages or tricky questions, you will have a clear strategy. You will know exactly what to look for and how to approach each question. We've mastered quadratic equations, tackled grammar traps, and honed our reading comprehension skills. But here's the ultimate game changer: conducting a full dress rehearsal before test day. This simple step can significantly reduce anxiety by familiarizing you with the testing environment and routine. Here's a quick checklist. Wake up at the same time as test day, eat the same breakfast, and follow the same schedule. Change your location to simulate limited space conditions. The psychological benefit of knowing what to expect can lead to improved performance. You'll feel more in control and less anxious. By implementing these strategies and doing a full dress rehearsal, you're setting yourself up for success. Remember, a 200 plus points improvement is within your reach. And if you want the full visual SAT math study guide, you can check out this video where I explain it how I was able to get 780 in the math section when I first took the SAT when I was 14 years old.